Of Holly Cook, once again out of England, alongside Horseman. Easy. Yeah, great sounds coming your way. UTMRadio.com in full effect. Yeah. So right after this here track, we want to bring in the special guest right here, the International Space Station show. So sit tight and listen keenly while I will give you another little iggy iggy that goes like this.
Countless times we catch the sunrise. Fix some scars we share with white lights. I got the keys to heaven now, bays all around and they got my mind spinning. I got the keys to heaven now, bays all around and they got my mind spinning. I got the keys to heaven now, bays all around and they got my mind spinning. Doors open wide. Doors open wide. Baby, smoking, let me love that fire. I don't need no memories. Baby, smoking, I'm floating higher. This madness so good for me. Baby, smoking, let me love that fire. I don't need no memories. Baby, smoking, I'm floating higher. This madness so good for me.
Oh, get into it. Do it.
So good for me. So good for me. So good for me. Pretty bitches keep me dreaming. Living big but still deceiving. I'm in deep but I don't mind. I want them on my one of a kind. I got the keys to heaven now, bays all around and they got my mind spinning. I got the keys to heaven now, bays all around and they got my mind spinning. I got the keys to heaven now, bays all around and they got my mind spinning. Suddenly doors just open wide. Doors open wide. Baby, smoking, let me love that fire. I don't need no memories. Baby, smoking, I'm floating higher. This madness so good for me. Baby, smoking, let me love that fire. I don't need no memories. Baby, smoking, I'm floating higher. This madness so good for me. You're so good for me. 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 Love that fire, memories.
Great sounds by Major Lazer, alongside Toe Glow. Sounds called Blow That Smoke. Do it. I fish out. Come on. Well, excuse me. May I have your attention, please? Special announcement. The 33rd Annual Caribbean Festival is a part of FICO's multicultural series here in the Philadelphia area, or in the tri-state area, New York City, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Philadelphia exclusive. It's the 33rd Annual Caribbean Festival. And I am honored to be part of the committee that puts this on an annual basis. This is the 33rd Annual Caribbean Festival. I can't say it enough. This is Sunday, August the 18th, 2019, 12 noon to 8 p.m. at the Great Plaza at Penn's Landing, Columbus Boulevard at Chestnut Street in Philadelphia. This is sponsored by PICO, the Delaware River Waterfront Corporation, and the Philadelphia Cultural Fund. The Caribbean Festival Committee, also known as CAPFest, is the major organization that puts this on, and it's an honor and a joy to be part of this itinerally. I give thanks to the Most High that I have received another day of life, that I could really be here to introduce to you a couple of members of this committee that puts this festival on for years, and utilizing the state-of-the-art technology. On your screen, you can see and hear this here interview. To my left is the good brother Vincent Heath. Please say something.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and also Vincent, where are you from? Talk to the people, man. Come on now. You're not from West Philly, so don't say that again, man.
Why are you gonna burst the bubble like that, bro? Of course, sir. Born and in Jamaica, and then raised right here in West Philadelphia, or most of my adult life. I mean, I'm a round town guy, so if you ask me about Philadelphia, I'm gonna be pretty much versed, so to speak. But then Philadelphia is a city and neighborhood, and the Caribbean, group community is just one part or one of those neighborhoods that you're going to have to visit. Now, you might not physically see a neighborhood. However, when you come to Penn's Landing on Sunday, August 18th, you're going to see a Caribbean neighborhood.
Also,
Dynamic Caribbean.
Also in the studio, special guest also, is Remy. Remy, talk to the people now. Introduce yourself, please.
How y'all doing, people? My name is Remy Duncombe. I'm born and raised in Nassau, Bahamas, but, I'm from West Philly,
Funky
too.
Nassau.
Philadelphia, man, is just a beautiful place, man. Like, they say the city of brotherly love. And
Hold on. Remember,
Caribbean,
Public
man.
Enemy said, "Don't believe the hype, man." 'Cause really and truly, on the real tip, man, there's a lot of shooting amongst
Right.
black men in this city. So I don't support that. I don't ignore that. The tourist industry can make all kind of statements, but really and truly, the man and the woman that live in the hoods, they know it ain't really all about that. You know what I mean? Verbosity that is presented in terms of this is the place and this is the part to see. And nah, for real, it's rough in this city, as it is everywhere, and particularly in this here time because of the racism that has reared its ugly head again.
yeah.
Not
But
only
on
in
August 18th,
Yeah, well,
it's all togetherness, man. Party, Caribbean people, that's what we do,
yeah,
We can bring the city
ideally,
together.
ideally we could say that, but let's be real, And I give thanks that I could bring you guys in and have this interview based on the Caribbean Festival, because I think it highlights the importance of a festivity of this manner. Because those who suffer, whether it's economically, physically, health-wise, whatever, the festivities allow for an easing of that. When people take for granted culture, and culture has its significance, and it could never be taken for granted. For if it wasn't for culture in this here region, in this here country, in this here world, we would be absent of so many things that gives us inspiration to go on. Because through the inequality of the system that doesn't give us equal representation, we don't get a chance, we as a people don't get a chance to really show our worth. We know it, but we don't get a chance to show it. In fact, in the news now, there is a discrepancy between the leadership in this here nation and the way international people are treated. So I'm a man that I love to say I stand for equality and justice. I've given certain guidance from Rastafari principles that I live by. His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie always showed the world the value of excellence coming out of Africa through the diaspora. And to me, the Caribbean highlights that even more so because of the fact that through popularity, through state of the art, a lot of people want to be down with the culture. But it's more to it than just party and wearing a t-shirt and whatever. Because even though people struggle and they suffer, we give thanks that if you know a brother or sister, and I say this for years, if you know a brother or sister from another country, that is your survival tactic number one. Too many times we tend to close ourselves off and we don't really reason or get together as a people, learning from one another, teaching each other. So that's the value to me of asking the two of you to come to this here program and talk to the people, give them some idea of culture from another perspective. Because you can go to a party, you can go to a session, and you can go to a festival. But I find the advantage is to know one and two people from the country that you can grounds with, you can vibes with. So, Vincent, I know for years you have been part of this festival committee. Please tell me, how did this start?
Well, this started even before I became an official committee member. Good brother Isis,
Yes, sir.
Linwell, and his family, orchestrate or spearheaded this, from way back in, of course, 1984, 85. Right
We
about
want to
there.
reiterate that. Good
Yes.
brother Linville Osborne from Jamaica.
Jamaica. All right, let me put it out this way.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy.
Ozzy, yes.
Linwell Oswald, affectionately known as Ozzy,
Yeah.
spearheaded this effort from the get-go way back
Really
in
and
the 80s.
truly.
Really and truly. And I give him credit every time and every chance I get to give him credit, because he saw a need for a dynamic group of people who have always been a part of this Philadelphia landscape, and said, we are much more than just, you hear a song now and again.
Mhm.
We are much more than that. We can show, let's say everyone is familiar with Bob Marley, and some of the older folks more like Jimmy Cliff, and then you can go on. But he said, let's say, listen, let's bring this to the forefront and let you see what we're all about. Okay. And like you rightfully said a while ago, partying with a T-shirt, it has a purpose rather than just, boy, some Caribbean people, let's try and see if we can get high and drink some beer and stuff like that. No, it's what we do is to bring the Caribbean to you in a sense that says, listen, Jamaica has a motto that says, we look but we talawa. I mean, we're small, but we're really big.
Big, big, big.
Okay? It's one of the most recognizable flag on this planet.
It's
No
true.
matter where you go. No, it's not to brag, but the Caribbean is a place that people come of all walk of life, visit for relaxation, visit for, plug it into any equation of life. Whether you're going to study marine life, whether you're going to study original mountain, nice here life, whether you're going to study real food life, and whether you're going to study the life of the leaf that now is being taken away from the guys who and the people who have been originally putting it out there. It starts in Jamaica. It starts in the Caribbean. Whether you want to study freedom for black people, it first started in 80. Okay?
Yes.
These are some of the things that, and if you go back and you can question it, you can look it up. I could be wrong, but I am saying 80 because they were the first country in this Western Hemisphere to free themselves as a black country.
They received independence from
received
colonialists. It's
And-
true.
Okay, so when we come here and say like the Caribbean Festival, yes, because we're bringing it to you in every aspect. It's more than just a party, but we are showing that when we smile, we really mean it. And if we vex, we just vex. But normally we smile and we welcome you because we want you to come to the Caribbean and enjoy yourself and take back our vibes.
Yeah, well, let me say this because I really appreciate what you just said. And I know for years I studied this from an international level, from a conscious perspective. Many people from around the world, they want to leave the job. They want to leave sometimes the country and go to a place where they can relax. And so for years, the island has always presented that opportunity. Unfortunately, many people carry with them some sick ways down into the island, like somebody's supposed to serve you, like, because you have money, you want to try to tell people how to this and how to that. But I find the joy is any man or woman that can sit back, relax, and chill to the max in the island, they get to receive the essence of the island life. Because really and truly, nature provides a solution to the problems that are found within cities, found within companies, found within so-called political scenarios. Because when you let everything go and you just relax, I want to sit by the river and relax. I want to jump into the water and relax, or I want to eat some island food and relax. These things are not found in every other country, so it becomes significant as well as important for our existence. And that's why, again, I say I invited you all to come because you offer another perspective that the ordinary man doesn't receive. For instance, many of us see international people, but we don't know them. And for years, I've always said, it would be great if we could hear international music on the radio. But you don't hear it because of the fact that we're not there to represent it. So we hear bits and pieces. We give thanks for reggae music. We give thanks for Bob Marley and the Wailers and those trailblazers before Bob Marley to bring this here music to the masses. I give thanks for UTM Radio to bring I in that I could bring in the international vibration on this level and allow education to take place. Because with an interview, you get to learn something. For instance, we have another brother from another island. Remy, talk to me. Talk to me about your country. Give us some idea.
Well, to piggyback off what Vincent was saying, when it comes to, that smile and recognizable flags, and Jamaica set the tune for the entire Caribbean. If you want to go back to say 40, 50 years ago, Jamaica was in the Bahamas. All the teachers in high school and 40, 50 years ago were Jamaican. So Jamaica was the first outside of Haiti as far as cutting into the new world and the new fabric of how things are being made. And at the same time, because it's an English-speaking country, Haiti probably maybe failed on that end because they were not English-speaking countries. But as far as coming to the Bahamas and teaching in the schools, Jamaica set the tune. And now the Bahamas, is able to stand on its own. But when he's saying that smile, that that island smile, what I want to do is I want to, doing for the marketing aspect of it, I want to be able to capture that smile. Like you were saying, people think about relaxation in the islands. In this day and age, we want to bring the festival, we want to bring the islands to Philadelphia, but more or less to the East Coast. We have people traveling from as far as Maryland, upstate New York, Toronto, coming down to be this festival faithfully. We have some people who probably, as far as travel wouldn't allow them because of their health and because of their age, unable to go and travel on a plane for three and a half hours or something like that. So we provide a festival for them to be able to have that escape. So it's the biggest festival, the granddaddy of them all that we promoting, and to be able to express that cultural expression, we want to bottle it up, and we want to let everybody know that we here, and all of we are one. That's our slogan, and we sticking by it, and not just come in there, you be able to understand it. Just just the vibes, man. Just a certain vibe that people just understand and feel it.
Yeah, for I personally, I can truly say through the years that I have received a lot of education through social media, through technology, through recording the artist. But it's nothing like talking to a man or woman from the region who can give you a deeper mindset of what's occurred. Because, again, there are a lot of people in America who would travel with the American mindset when they go to the island. But to a man or woman that can say, wait a minute, I respect the inhabitants of this here region who can show us a whole lot more than just party, party, party. Because sometimes when you're faced with adversity, whether it's economic, physical, or sometimes it's racial, it's not no party that can ease off the pressure. When people suffer, when people lose their lives, I'm a musician and I know for sure, ain't no party music can take the place of something that is culturally significant, that has its foundation in culture. And so for me, for years, being a part of this here experience has been vainglorious in so many levels because of, one, you have the sound, the Caribbean sound there. There is steel pan band. I mean, a lot of times people don't really get a chance to hear steel pan music. Then there's the history associated with that. Certainly to me, I always marveled at the fact that the originators of the steel pan drum took an oil can, a discarded oil can, and made an instrument out of it. Well, to me, that's the highlight. That's the in it, that's the ability, the blessings of the Most High to give black man the ingenuity to create, to invent, to do things on a larger level. But through the society that we live in, we don't always get that representation, that fullness of what really happened. You see, and so I give thanks that Vincent, we know, represents Jamaica. You represent Barbados,
Bahamas.
Bahamas. See,
Yeah.
thank you for that correction.
Yeah.
So, what is the difference between Barbados and the Bahamas?
Well, I mean, the Bahamas, the Bahamas is an archipelago, and that's what
Mm,
in the Bahamas, it's a country, but it's over 1,700 islands and keys.
mm,
A lot of people don't know that. They think Bahamas is like one country altogether.
mhm,
So the difference with the Bahamas is, but all the islands are within close proximity of one another.
mhm,
The accent is, all the island accents. The patois is pretty much, there's variations of it.
mhm.
But I mean, what makes the Bahamas different is we're a smaller country. That's pretty much it. And then of course the food different. More seafood and
I
conch
must
and fish and stuff like that.
don't mean to interrupt you,
Yeah.
Remy, but I like to say that this is one of the joys that I've had in being part of this experience through the years is getting to know 1 and 2, 3 and 4 from other countries,
Mhm.
which gave me a greater understanding of the Caribbean. Now, trust me, my own recollection, I remember reggae music had its own novelty in the 60s. We used to hear, particularly Millie Small with My Boy Lollipop, Desmond Decker with the Israelites. Those songs had different tempos, different beats, different accents. And so within that concept, it really became an interesting factor. Like, hey, this is something different than what we're
Right.
accustomed to. But even more so, a lot of people, when they think Caribbean, they think Jamaica, and they don't really mention too many other countries. So I give thanks already. We hear enough education is taking place in these few minutes because Vincent highlighted the fact that Haiti primarily has stood up for black people on a large scale, maintaining the ability to fight the colonialists, which is part of the experience that we go through today. Everything is, kicking off from what happened long time ago, yesteryear. And even though Haiti is a poor country, we can't forget its significance in the scheme of things because the identity of conscious creativity, contributions to the world at large cannot be understated. And then, as you just indicated, there are so many more islands that certainly would benefit from a greater awareness of what the people are about, what the region has to offer. And for me, being a member of the Caribbean Festival Committee through the years, I've always enjoyed my educational experience, which comes from just interaction. Meeting 1 and 2 from Haiti, Jamaica, Barbados, Bahamas, St. Lucia, St. Thomas, St. Croix,
St. Kitts.
St. Kitts. Yeah, talk to me.
Antigua and Barbuda,
Antigua,
everybody.
Cuba,
Yep.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Trinidad, Puerto
Yes,
Rico,
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
the British Virgin Islands, Martinique.
Mm.
We can go on and on and on and on and
Yeah.
on. It's a thing. But I piggyback on what both of you gentlemen were saying, and one of the things that what is unique about the Caribbean Festival, we're here to teach you, while you just eloquently put it, Timmy. You said, you learn about the steel pan, but someone is jumping to the steel pan, and they don't know
The
what
essence.
the instrument is.
Yeah.
They're moving to it. Or even when my good friend, Dane from Trinidad,
Mm-hmm.
take him one string
Mm-hmm.
and him one box and build something that look like an arc, and put it beside the steel pan players, and then him start to pluck the string. It's a whole new,
Ingenuity.
it's a whole new dynamic, okay, to the music. And I would like to put it, but I can't. And if you guys get a chance, Google a guy by the name of Monty Alexander. He's a Jamaican
Oh
jazz
yeah, I've heard of
musician.
Monty. Yes.
And when he talk about music and how music interacts between us across the continent,
Mm-hmm.
you would be absolutely amazed at the intricacies, but the love that music has taken to people. That's what we do at the festival. Okay? Now, listen, I don't care where you come from. We say, all we are one. One Caribbean, one world, one love. But when you put Caribbean music with the sweet smell of the jerk seasoning
Easy start.
against the water.
Uh-uh.
I don't care what you say about anywhere in Europe or anywhere on the planet. You cannot beat that vibes, right?
Right.
You
Right.
cannot touch that vibes. Listen,
Right away.
you don't have to be from anywhere in particular, you know. But listen, poor people know to get together and have fun, you know,
Yeah.
because we know what it is to be poor. Being poor don't mean we're nasty, so you're not rat infested. So don't believe that hype. Don't believe that foolishness. Poor people is love, and I tell you, how poor people is love. You come down there and look at all these foreign people, who's presently has been described in some words that are really not fit to be described. But then just take a look at the smile. Listen to me, man. You who are out there making disparaging remarks cannot even smile that way. You can't smile because there's no happiness in your heart. You know what I mean? But when you come to the Caribbean Festival, it's a joy. It's a happy. So when we bring you down there, listen, it goes for more than one panel areas. When you come to the Caribbean, Remy can talk to you about, you know, the Bahamas. But if you want to go fly fishing in Barbados, we can tell you about that. If you want to go golfing somewhere else, we can tell you about that. Now, I have a big mouth and I can talk a lot. However, I can't necessarily represent every island the way it should be represented with all its
True,
intricacies. So there's someone there because we have an information booth with all that information. So if you want to go explore the Caribbean, there's someone to point you in a direction to say, yes, where's the best golf course? My one. But check that one out, no? Okay. And stuff like that. But in the meantime, you find your body moving because there's a rhythm in the air. There's a beat. Timmy's on stage with a bass guitar. You see what I'm saying?
It's true.
You know?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I know
And
there's
Vincent, you know, there's a smell in the
Yeah,
area
yeah,
because
yeah.
you're smelling spices and you're smelling food that you don't normally smell, and the aroma is intoxicating,
Intoxicating.
man.
it's intoxicating. And I'll tell you something. When people travel, even from Americans, and I tend to pick on my brothers sometimes, okay? You leave and you go to the Caribbean and say, I try to eat some food and it's so expensive, it's ridiculous. What did you try to eat? I wanted a burger.
Yeah, yeah.
And someone says to you, wait a minute.
You went all the
No,
way there to get
wait
a
a
burger.
minute. Let me say something to you, and let me break it down. Let everyone can hear. Dog, what's wrong with you?
That's a good point,
Okay,
man.
what's wrong with you? Listen, for you to get a burger the way you want it, I'm not saying they're not there,
Right.
but in an hotel, for you to get a burger the way you want it, it has to be imported. No, how many people really gonna? Hey, so if 1 million people comes to any particular island, and you sell 1 million burger, okay, to get it, to ship it from Texas, Utah, you name it, to get there, what do you think it's gonna be? Okay. That's a lot. So when you spend $30 for the burger, you deserve to spend $30 for the burger.
Exactly.
Okay? I'm trying to educate you here. And this was put to me right there at the festival by a travel agent who is an American by birth and said, people keep complaining every time they come back when they go visit a country that the food is expensive. Which food? No, American food. No, there's nothing wrong with American food. Okay? Let's face that. We have all our food on every continent that will cure you or kill you. Okay? But we're not talking about no dead thing right now. So let's say we all have food of differences and your palate can be educated in different ways. And that's what we do at the Caribbean Festival. Now I might sound like a teacher or professor and stuff, but that's not what it's all about. Because the rhythm wild. Okay?
Let me say, in addition to that, because my curiosity was sparked a long time ago, I learned to appreciate other cultures, even in my neighborhood. And I found myself standing out because there was an African family that lived on my block, but nobody really wanted to be with the African descendants. So there I was, one out of many, daring to have a cordial relationship. And then as a result of that, great things will happen on so many levels. One is, if there's a language spoken that I don't know, I'm going to ask a question. And I'm going to ask until I get answers. Even to the point that I realize until we as African people can be taught by African teachers, there's a lot that's lacking within the educational system. And I find that the cultural significance of a festival provides that which has been absent in our lives.
Hear,
when
hear.
we can link with brothers and sisters from another region in a casual basis and get educated from so many levels. It's not only food, but food is an educational process. Trust me, when I first heard about mango and I had a mango, it was okay. But when I went to Jamaica and I had a mango down there, it was a big difference.
Could I elaborate on that today? I didn't have that mango. The reason I'm saying this is that one of my coworkers, fellow, I worked with a while back, professional, and he said, I went to Jamaica, and the fruit doesn't taste the same. And he said, and he kept saying, the fruit doesn't taste the same. I'm trying to describe it. And I was like, why? He said, I had oranges and I had this, but it doesn't taste the same. And I'm like, what are you trying to say? I'm saying the fruit doesn't taste the same. I'm like, but it's grown, it's organic. Yes, but the fruit doesn't taste the same. So I said, when you bite into the fruit, what it's like? I don't know. I just know it doesn't taste the same. Okay? And I'm like, okay, all right. So when you bite into the fruit, it tastes like sunshine. Yes! That's what I'm talking about! Yes! And I'm like,
Yeah, because
I'm like, okay, bro. He's like, yes! I'm like, okay, bro. And he said yes again. I'm like, he said that's the only way I could describe it.
Yeah.
He said the only way I could describe it when I bite into a fruit from the Caribbean, it tastes like I bite the sunshine. I experienced that 3 weeks ago with a fruit called Mami. Now I'm from Jamaica. I've never had a Mami in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I was in New York and I saw it. I talk about it. Now, listen to me. One Mami was $5 American.
Mommy supporter.
And I bought two.
That's
I
fruit.
gave one. It's a fruit. And Timmy, let me tell you something. I took it home and I peel it. I sliced it and I bite into the Mami. Sunshine! Absolute sunshine.
we're going to take a pause. We're going to play some music and we'll come right back. We will continue this. More sunshine coming up. In the studio, representatives of the Caribbean Festival Committee, thank you for being here. Hold tight where we bring you another little Iggy like goes like this. The sounds of Dawn Penn in the background. Sounds called Night and Day. Listen keenly.
Night and day I pray that love would come my way. Say now, night and day I pray that you won't stay out late. Baby, I love you so, and this is what I really know. That if you should ever leave and go away,
The sounds of Don Penn in the background, right here at UTMRadio.com. It's the International Space Station show with your host, Timmy Tanzania, alongside the engineer Gunnar G, Zachariah in the house, with our illustrious guests, Vincent Heath and Remy from the Caribbean Festival Committee. As we said before, in the background is Don Penn singing I Wanna Love I Can Feel. Big, big, big tune. But really, I know this song from back in the day of the Temptations singing this. If you remember, you know, I wanna love I can feel. So, it's a joy to be right here with the special guest, and we're going to come right back into this here little moment. We were talking off the air about some things that we've experienced, particularly from the systematic perspective, and that's the importance of the festival itself, is that you get a chance to experience so much absent of outside intervention. So one thing that I have always give thanks for is that at the committee, I've learned a lot about what it takes to put on a festival. And I know that there's so many things that must be done in planning for a festival. I never imagined how much work it is to put on a festival of this nature. But then again, we're talking about a major city in the USA that does this presentation, and within that there's still a lot of rules and regulations that one must deal with. And so my education was broadened because of the fact that I learned that you have to have permit to sell your product, you have to have tables to set the product up on, you have to have at least a special day where you can bring the product out. Oh, you also have to have a sunny day too, because if it's a rainy day, it affects the festivities. So it's so many things that I've learned regarding festival production. And Mr. Vincent, I have learned through the years that your involvement is on multiple levels, because we work together, and I see that the things that I've learned from you has been instrumental in my comprehension of what it takes to put on a festival. For instance, if you have certainly the right technology there, you can address people worldwide, because we know the site that the festival is held at is a big site.
Major.
And you have a lot of people that are part of the manpower, woman power that it takes to put on a festival. And so without these aspects being addressed, you really wouldn't know what it takes to put on a festival. Let's hear you talk about that for a moment, please.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. And big shout out, if I can, to Barbara, you know.
Yeah,
and
Barbara Wilson,
Barbara
bless.
coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Bless up. And to my dear friend and lovely lady who is sort of like, you know, taking her seat back right now, you know. OG.
Yeah, Sister Yvonne.
Sister Yvonne.
Yeah, from
God bless.
St.
From
Vincent,
St.
right?
Vincent,
Yeah.
yes. I don't like Satan because St. Vincent became into being after a little bit after me, so they still owe me taxes for using my name.
Ooh.
But it's one love. It's one love. No worries there. Okay,
Out
but
of many, one people. Yeah, it's true.
All we are one. Okay, and then, you know, I can go on and list everyone. But yes, to put this together is an effort, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know, and sometimes we have even invited students to say, come, you know, help us out, but we're telling you to come study, because, you know, you want to study project management, stuff like those, you know what I mean? Or you want to plan how to put together an event. You have years and years and years of experience right there. Remember, you know, we don't have access to sponsors as we would like. They are sponsors, and we appreciate them. You know, Pico, who put on the festival, part of the multicultural series each year, Penn Landing Corporation, Delaware Riverfront Authority, and those guys. You know what I mean? Philadelphia, you know, Cultural Fund, and a couple of others. Yes, but we get approached a lot by a lot of people. But let's not go there, because this is a thing that I saw coming towards smaller communities from a long time. And that's why sometimes when I go to let's say Roxborough or up in Torresdale, and you look at a ball field and you see Jimmy's Bar and Maze Water Ice, you know what I mean? And Chloris Candy on it, you know it's community support. Okay? Because no matter what, no matter how big you become in this world, no matter what you mean, you come from a community somewhere. And that goes for every race, color, and creed.
True.
Everyone, you are coming from somewhere. So no matter where you come from, don't forget where the roots grown. Because without the roots, there's no trunk, no branches, nothing.
Oh boy.
Okay? So when we come together to do this thing, we coming out of our pockets. We coming out of our neighbors' pockets. We coming from a space of love. When we say the benefactors are Caribbean American students, we mean it. I can go and show you doctors. I can show you lawyers. I can show you even mechanics. I can show you engineers that have all gotten scholarship from the Caribbean Festival because they are benefactors. That's the real reason. So when you come out to party, and Timmy spoke about it earlier, it's partying for purpose. Okay? And the purpose is, yes, we're down there and we're jumping and we're shaking and we're, you know, we
And
teach
we're
you the,
partying.
and we're partying.
Yeah.
But we're partying for a purpose. And the purpose is manifold. Okay? You're educating a child from within America. And it has nothing to do with color or class. I don't care where you're from. As long as you come, you're a student, you're a student. Okay? And we support that. That's our biggest benefactors. Okay? And we support other cultural events and other community events around town. But we're supposed to be talking about putting it together. It takes hours. Hours.
Planning.
It takes. Listen, when I started, you know, I had a little bit of white here because I was painting the ceiling. I was painting the ceiling and some white paint catch me. Then I went to a Caribbean festival planning meeting 30 something years ago. And that was strange. Because, yes, and Timmy mentioned, you have to have so many permits. You have to deal with some of the departments. I am one of the guys who have gotten in trouble with the health department because I said, listen, boss, I think your guys are racist. And it turned out that the head of the department was a foreigner also. And she said, no, we're not. And I said, yes, you are. I said, if you are not, then your people are. And I said, why? Because I said, when I go to 9th Street, the same things that you're penalizing me for is there forefront on 9th Street. Because culture, whether it's Italian or anything, when you used to take your meat and you hang it in a store, you hang it a certain way. It never used to kill nobody.
Right.
Okay? So when we tell you that, when we treat our things with our season and stuff and it's not going to hurt you, it's not. Now, let's be mindful though. Food handling is a very delicate thing. Extremely delicate. And we don't short ourselves on that. The people that comes here, we make sure their place get inspected. Okay? I'm just trying to tell you that things that you don't know that goes behind the scene.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scene. It has to be done. So even though I might be a very fantastic chef in my house, and maybe even in a place establishment, if the Philadelphia Health Department cannot come inspect your location, you cannot come sell food at the Caribbean Festival. Because we take that very seriously as a group. Because
Very.
one sickness can be, you know, very detrimental to a city this size or to a country. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we take those things seriously. Temperatures has to be right. You know what I mean? To handle food.
So, in essence, when we come down to the festival, we as a people, as interested parties, we realize that we might be having a nice time, but we fail to remember it took a lot to put this whole
A
event
whole
on.
year of planning.
And planning and planning and planning. Now, I must admit, the flyer says the 33rd Annual Caribbean Festival. The flyer looks good. It says Caribbean Workshop, Children Corner, live entertainment, food, poetry, dance. All that is part of the production, and it really is appealing. I'd like to touch on what would be a Caribbean workshop.
Okay. A Caribbean workshop. Okay, all right. Simple question. Let me break it down to this. The man from West Philadelphia will understand this. Okay, we all clean our houses and we all go out and we buy a piece of cloth that we spend $3 on. Okay, to polish the floor and stuff like that. A Caribbean workshop would tell them to take a dry coconut, cut it in half in such a way, scrape it a little bit, and turn the dry coconut oil into a brush to clean your floor. Didn't kill any tree. Didn't use anything synthetic. Didn't use anything oil based. And it's what? Reusable. Okay. Maintainable. Okay.
All
Coming from
natural.
nature. But you don't see it that way. What most people see, is them people that are from the bush. They don't know any better. But yet you go out and
Lesson
you took
learned.
$35 and bought a piece of cloth to clean the floor when you could have done that.
Now, for time's sake, we're gonna move on. You know,
That's one thing from one workshop.
so I see also it says children corner. What would be in the children's corner? Hey, stop the noise now.
The children. Okay, all right, I got you. No, all right, the children's corner. Okay, I mean,
Because we're
just-
thinking Caribbean festival
Okay,
on all things
still-
Caribbean.
Let's say this to everyone: you can still bring your child because we still do face painting.
Oh,
Okay, we still do face painting.
Right.
Okay, but then, we still jump rope. You can still hula hoop. You can still do things that children enjoy. But then when we start to tell, like a kid from the Caribbean, from Jamaica, we call it Anansi stories, which are stories that have a meaning behind them. Okay, and explain how these stories go. It's teaching them how to effectively look at art and stage presentation without them even knowing it. You see what I'm saying? So when we teach a Louise Bennett, once again Jamaican, and I keep going back to that because that's my roots, story, it tells you how to tell a story about your neighbor. Okay? Go back to Will Smith, born and raised in West Philly. The playgrounds when I spend the rest of my days. Okay, you're telling a story and everyone likes it. Now, you can tell a story in several ways. Okay? You can tell a story with some colorful four-letter words. Well, yeah, a lot of Jamaican four-letter words are colorful. Okay? And you get your point across. However, you can tell your story in written words, through songs, okay, through nursery rhymes, that can effectively engages your audience, teach them something without, even if he doesn't agree with you, he understands and he goes back and say, I might have to change my perspective. I might have to rethink what I'm thinking about those things. Yes, but they
Yeah.
don't know it. You
Right.
see, they don't know that's what's happening because we're teaching you how to, play and tell story. Yes, we do teach you how to do sandbox. We do teach you how to play marbles. We do all these things, but there are some little things in there that are intricate. Because if you don't do that, then you have a fantastic audience that you're gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? How many places you go and you see you taught a kid how to make a kite? Those simple little things.
Yeah. Okay. So now that point that you made, all those points, I really appreciate. I want to bring in Remy at this point, and I know from various aspects of your contribution to this here festival, and I appreciate you enormously. Can you give us an idea what do you do with the Caribbean Festival Committee?
Well, that's a good question. My job with the Caribbean Festival community is to just everything that Vincent is saying, pretty much to just bottle up the whole experience, the whole entire experience of our cultural expression as a whole, and control our narrative from a social media perspective, because social media is another world, a totally different world. And Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all the social media platforms, think about this. Each person, the festival is going to see 30,000 people throughout the course of the day. Just say
30,000 people.
30,000
Plus,
people
plus.
Plus.
We already on our Facebook event. We already have 33,000 people say they're going.
What?
Okay, the event already saw 314. Already reached 314,000 people. So let's just say 10,000 people at the event, and they share a post and they talking about the Caribbean Festival.
True.
Each one of those social media platforms, on an average, has about 500 followers. So that's more eyes. So this is the first year that we're doing this on this level. But we have been on Facebook and social media for the past 8 years. But now someone's managing it, which is me, and I'm going to control the narrative, and we're going to take it to the next level. And also to invite sponsorships coming in next year, because all these entities and corporate conglomerates, they all have social media pages as well. And now with us controlling our narrative, when they see all the enticement and see, they're gonna want to be associated with us, and that's where, that's where Vincent and the senior members of the team come into place, and you know what I mean,
Yeah, I
and,
do.
and be able to take that to the next level so that they can understand the importance, because like you say, it's not just we not just shaking up and having a good time. This is
Right.
for a reason, but the reason is that we, to control our narrative so they can see exactly, because I'm telling our story.
Allow me
social
to
media
say
perspective.
that the interview that we have today, brothers and sisters, people that are out there listening and tuning in, it's on multi levels. We already know through the state of the art technology, we're coming through imagery with videos. We're coming through audio with sound. We're certainly coming through audio with the microphone. But also, what you guys represent through this interview is an opportunity for the average listener to hear what really goes on. You can go to a festival um, and enjoy what you experience, but it's another thing when you get to talk to someone who is part of the production. Now you get to see what it takes to put on a festival, incorporating so many entities. And one of the things that I love that I have learned is that you have various representations that no one else can do. People do have the mindset of a copycat. Anything you do, I can do better. But the truth of the matter is, some things you cannot do.
Right.
You would have to go to the source to do that. And it would be best, it's honorable, it's respect to say, hey man, I can't do what you do. How do you do what you do? And I think the interview that we have today allows that type of transference of information. For certainly, someone has to deal with advertisement. We at UTM Radio, we are faced with the same criteria on a different level. And so I've learned a lot just from being in this spaceship with all this technology. But it has its relevance, it has its importance.
Exactly.
The days of paper and pencil are numbered. But still, even though we're in a high-tech environment, we could never forget the value of pencil and paper. So with consciousness and relativity, we find that all things can be utilized. Certainly, if you have someone that knows about the media, knows about technology, can add to a festival's presentation. And then you have listeners that I know for sure, once you hear that there's so much more going on, that inspires you to want to be a part of it, to want to experience it. Hey, I didn't know that. Like we were talking about steel drums. And I know every time the festival occurs, there is this joy of what steel drums bring. Hey, listen, people, I have been amazed with Carnival for years, but not just from the pageantry of it all, but from the actual, what they call it, hands-on experience. And I've always been amazed with the cultural history associated with the Caribbean.
Yes.
And that's why I really asked you to come into this interview, because I think we all are fascinated with the cultural significance, but we don't know the history. And so you guys already have brought in so much more information than we had anticipated. I'd like to hear from my two brothers right here in the studio who are part of UTM.
If I could just touch on something,
Go
just
ahead.
to finish up what you were saying, we fascinated too, even though we're part of the Caribbean culture and a part of the festival. We just as fascinated as the people that are coming there. Like Vince say, when he bite the mommy, he say, sunshine. You know what I mean?
Right.
When he that's so we still have that little boy, little girl type feel, like the kid in the candy store when like he say, when you smell that jerk chicken on the Delaware Riverfront, it's like, man, like I need something now, and now
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
And then there's another element that we do take for granted, and that is the importance of the black experience. Because too many times in this here day and age, things are played down or joked with,
Right.
and we forget the significance and the importance of our contribution on a global basis.
Very true.
And what you guys present, in my mind, is a better understanding of what the Caribbean is all about. It may be not fully understood in one day or even in 1 hour in terms of an interview. But on the other hand, the seed that's planted just through discussion alone allows for growth. You know, the Inquisition itself, like, hey, what are they talking about? Hey, what's going on at that festival? Hey, I think I'm going to go down there. One thing I feel good about is that being a musician, I have played a lot of reggae music. And one thing I had to tell somebody recently, they was like, yo, man, this reggae festival. I said, no, it's not a reggae festival. It's a Caribbean festival that highlights other Caribbean nations and their contribution. Vincent, do you ever get that?
Oh, yeah. You get that all the time. It's like, listen, Jamaicans have very big mouth. And like I said before, we're little but we talawa. We're small, but we shout loud. And because we shout loud, the world hear us shouting. Listen, the squeaky wheel makes the most noise, but it still get the most oil. Okay? And the only way it's going to get the oil was because it was squeaking. So the louder the squeak, the more the oil you're going to get. And I want to expand on what you're just saying about what we bring to it. You're a health conscious brother. And, Remy is a health conscious brother. And I think, Gunnar and Zach is a health conscious people. Okay, let's look at this. When you come to the Caribbean Festival, I don't want to tone down the fun, no, don't get me wrong, people. But when you come to the Caribbean Festival, you might get a cup of porridge. Or, forget that. Let's say you get some brown stew chicken. Everybody eat chicken. Okay? And he said to make the gravy. And to thicken the gravy, you might use, some arrowroot powder. Okay? Which is from St. Vincent. Okay? That's one of their things that they produce in terms of crops. Okay? Which is, it's all natural. It's all good.
And that's a joy in itself, for real.
Right. But listen to this. No one is thinking that there's a guy somewhere in St. Vincent making a penny from that arrowroot. No one is thinking about that. You may have a breadfruit from Jamaica. You eat a slice of breadfruit. You may add codfish. Well, codfish is not really from Jamaica, even though it's a part of the national dish. Okay? But you may add a piece of swordfish. Okay? It is possible, did you know, that by supporting the festival, someone somewhere else on the planet is going to have dinner.
Give thanks.
And we give thanks to that. So while we party, while we play, we're doing it with a purpose. All three P's, party, play, purpose. Okay? And then we do one thing else, but we kind of keep it out of the forefront. We don't get involved in that because that kind of get nasty sometimes. It's the politics. So when you come to the Caribbean Festival, it's just Irie vibes all the time. Natural vibes. It's just a natural vibe. Mother, father, children, grandmother, grandfather, cousin, far relative, poor, rich, and the indifferent all come to the Caribbean Festival.
Right there. We're going to pause. We're going to take a break. And we're going to be right back with some more music. But in the meantime, between time, which Jimi Hendrix said is a groovy time, we want you to hear this here track. This one's called Marcus Garvey Chant. Coming out of the hills of Jamaica, it's the sounds of the roots rock reggae music, and it goes like this.
You can enslave what was done for 300 years, the bodies of men. You can shackle the hands of men. You can shackle the feet of men. You can imprison the bodies of men, but you cannot shackle or imprison the minds of men. Capable of. They do not know what they're thinking. They're thinking in terms of dreadnoughts, battle ships, aeroplanes, submarines. You know what we're thinking about? That is our own private business. Timbuktu, Alexandria gave the light of civilization to this world. Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hands unto God, and princes shall come out of Egypt. Because classes, nations, races have been quite for over 4 centuries, who have merely borne abuse, insult, humiliation, whose forbearance can only be compared to the prophet Job, as likewise lifted his bowed head and raised it up to God's skies and cried out, I am a man, and demand a man's chance and a man's treatment in this world. That I shall teach the black man, I shall teach the black man to see beauty in his own kind and stop bleaching his skin and otherwise looking like what he's not.
African freedom, African freedom, chant them down, chant them down.
God made man Lord of his creation, gave him possession and ownership of the world. And you have been so darned lazy that you've allowed the other fellow to run away with the whole world, and now he's bluffing you and telling you that the world belongs to him and that you have no part in it. I don't have to apologize to anybody for being black, because God Almighty knew exactly what he was doing when he made me black. If black people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves. Yes, you heard of Johnny Walker Red and black. Well, he had his adversities, but he's still going strong. Well, I intend with your help and God's grace to continue, because my work has only just begun. And future generations shall have in their hands the guide by which they shall know the sins of the 20th century. I know and I know you too believe in time, but we shall wait patiently for 200 years if need be to face our enemies through our posterity. When my enemies are satisfied, in life I shall come back, or in death even to serve you as I served before. In life I shall be the same, in death I shall be a terror to the foe.
Teach them, Gavi, teach them. Tell them, Gavi, tell them. Want them, Gavi, want them. Chant them down, chant them down. Yahweh, Mosiah, Yahweh.
If death has power, then count on me to be the real Marcus Garvey I would like to be. If I may come in an earthquake or a plague or a pestilence, or as God would have me, then be assured that I shall never desert you and make your enemies triumph over you. Will I not go to hell a million times for you? If I die in Atlanta, my work will only just then begin. For I shall live in the physical or the spiritual to see the day of Africa's glory. When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black and the green around me. For in the new life I shall rise up first with God's grace and blessing, to lead the millions of the heights and the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a whirlwind or a storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa, to aid you in the fight for liberty, freedom, and life.
African freedom, African freedom and liberty. Chant them down, chant them down. Yahweh, Yahweh, Mosiah, Yahweh. Chant them down, 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 down.
Our great scholars have passed through the colleges and universities, have thrown away the blessed record. Babylon did it. Assyria did it. France under Napoleon did it. Germany under Prince von Bismarck did it. England under America under George
The
Washington
voice of Marcus Mosiah Garvey in full effect right here, utmradio.com. And we give thanks because we are reasoning with brothers from the Caribbean who add a little bit more insight as well as light to what it is to come from the Caribbean and the festivities that are held is not only from a party perspective, but also from an educational, if not a spiritual perspective. Providing that essence of our ancestors. Because really and truly, those of us who grew up in this here region, we definitely have not been in touch with the roots. And I've learned this from Bob Marley in his reasoning, as well as with a lot of Rasta brethren and sisters. The root is important. And we know from a TV program, there was a movie called The Roots. But some things we can only testify to as far as it being an outside experience. But really and truly, those of us who know what roots are, it's part of you. So if you have knowledge of your roots, as Marcus Garvey said, then you know yourself. And if you know yourself, no one can stop you. No one can trick you to think that you less than a man who was blessed by the Most High with talent, with vision, with ability, with a sense of purpose. And to me, this is the essence of a cultural festival. It's just give me that significance. I don't want to really just party, shake your booty. I mean, I can get that anytime I want. But when it comes to knowledge, history, significance, when it comes to meeting 1 and 2 personally, that's where I come in. I want that. I love that because that's the importance of our survival. So this has been a wonderful experience today. But my brothers, please, in closing, because we're going to cap this off right now, but in closing, give the people a closing comment, please.
Well, for me, this year is going to be Marcus Garvey's 132nd birthday, okay? And if you know, his birthday is August 17th. The festival is August 18th. Each year, we respectfully pay homage to that at the festival,
Respect.
We respectfully do that, and the Garvey Foundation here in Philadelphia has been a fundamental part of the festival. So
you mean the UNIA?
It's a fundamental part. They're down there every year. They support the festival. They bring their information down there, and they support our scholarship funds and everything like that. So people, when you see us partying down there, and when you see the work that's been done, and once again I go back to our coordinator Barbara. I just reach out to Cecile to get the information. That's another one of her who takes care of the stage along with you. Okay, and Miss O'Gara, and and go
all
back
the various
to
members,
Miss Jackie and all the various members, men and women. You know what I mean?
That's
now
right.
we have Remy here, who is a millennial and who is new, which we want.
A millionaire. I want.
No, a million. Did I say millionaire? I said millennial.
Let's get that perfectly clear.
Right. But
$1 million.
yeah, no, but he's doing $1 billion job.
It's
And
true,
why I
it's
say that is, for us to grow and to continue, we have to have that. So when he's packaging and he's harness all this effort to put it into social media, you know what I mean? And we can come and say we already have 330-something thousand hits, and we already have a guaranteed crowd of 33. When we're saying that, I'm saying Mr. Sponsor, and your companies that we all support, the Caribbean people, African people, the Philadelphia people of color. We buy the Volvos, we buy the BMWs, we buy the sneakers, we buy houses, and even though you say some things, there are people out there who are doing okay for themselves. We are known to work 3-4 jobs, Caribbean people, and we have a saying that says every mickle make a muckle.
Every nickel make a muckle.
Means every penny counts, okay?
Exactly.
True,
And
true.
because every penny counts, right? Yeah, every penny counts, and so call us. You want want some information? 215-895-9352.
Give that number again, please.
And it's right there on the flyer. And that's
But that's all right. Give it-
215, 879-9352. 215-879-9352.
For more
For
information.
more information, leave a message. Or you can call even my number, 215-432-1421.
Give that number again.
215-432-1421. Just ask for Vinny or Mr. Vincent. Or I'll answer the phone.
Or
Okay?
Mr. Heath.
Mr. Heath. Okay, St. Vincent. No. But to be perfectly honest and distinguish myself, just call me Sir Vincent. All right.
All right. Really, we're going to have to close this down. But before we go, are you finished with your closing statements, my
My
brother?
closing statement is on Sunday, August 18th. come on down to Penzland in the Great Plaza. It's a free, fun family event. Come learn about the Caribbean. Come party, come dance till you drop. Come eat jerk chicken
Easy
till you
Star.
food. All kind of food, all kind of music. Listen, boss, I don't care what color, who you are, where you come from. Just leave the foolishness out because it's our one love day. Just bring your good vibes. You know you have the good vibes. Just come on down. Enjoy the atmosphere. Just
Yes.
relax. And
Yes,
just
I-
breathe that Caribbean vibe, that one love vibe.
That's
See
my
you
main
Sunday,
man.
August 18th.
Vincent Heath from Jamaica speaking that, talking that talk, walking that walk. Remy, you have any closing statements,
In
please?
closing, I just want to say this to what Vince was saying. It's the family environment.
Mm-hmm.
I want anybody listening right now, if y'all have Facebook, if you're not following and liking us, follow us at Philly Caribbean Festival. That's on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Send us a recommendation. Also on Instagram at Philly Carib Fest. On Instagram.
Philly.
Yes, PHILLY. And send us a recommendation or give us a review. On closing, a lady actually sent us a review yesterday. She gave us 4 stars and she was like, "Oh, this is the greatest festival. They have the greatest experience and everything. The only thing is the food line's too long." So the food is good.
Oh, listen, people. Sorry to cut you out. Listen, no, we have other things other than food, But the food is big. But remember, we have arts and crafts vendors and stuff like that down there that sell not anything from T-shirt. I may expect to see my man Zach with him not turner sneakers ready to come sell it. And say, I'm saying all that kind of thing. So listen to me. It's all across the board. And listen, some of the nicest gifts, Caribbean related type gifts you can there. I usually give it to friends and families and clients and stuff like that. Souvenirs. So you can come down and get some irie things. You can get tablecloths, or you can get table coasters, or you can get napkins. You can get plate holders. There's so many things you can get down there, and you can get some real authentic African and Caribbean and American artwork there. So listen, the festival is vibrant, it's eclectic, it's all around. One love in every sense of the word. Finish up, Timmy.
Well, one thing that I want to reiterate that I love about the Caribbean Festival Committee and its standing in this here day and age, it is that the youth experience a benefit support from this here festival. I love hearing the fact that a lot of the proceeds go to the youth so they can continue their education.
Yes, the Caribbean Festival have a scholarship fund that we do every year. And let me tell you something, whether or not we raise the money enough, I've seen Barbara have done it, I mean, me and her have butt heads, but trust me, the heads that come together, we said, listen, no matter what happened, we have to guarantee a minimum of 5 scholarship each year, no matter where we all get it from. You know what I mean? So even if we don't make any money or we're in the red and things dread, education stop up, because we have to get up this full head, that's what we say. And the children get that scholarship.
In addition to that, allow me to say that there's so much that we haven't touched on regarding this festival and festivities. We might do this again if you guys are available. But one thing I would love to say is that a big shout out to the Caribbean Festival Committee that puts this festival on. This is the 33rd annual Caribbean Festival. I can't say enough about that.
32 years.
I mean,
Round of
really,
applause right
applause for that. For real.
32 years. Beautiful.
So, in closing, I would say to all those who have heard this interview, if you learned something, if you enjoyed what you heard, if you are still inquisitive, well, we know come to the festival, but utilize the state-of-the-art technology that's there. Utilize social media. Let us know, what did you think about this here production? I've enjoyed myself. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I've learned a lot, and we have so much more that could be offered. We want to say we thank all those sponsors. As Vincent mentioned earlier, many productions wouldn't be able to go on without someone sponsoring it. So we can't say enough about our appreciation of the sponsors, as well as a cultural festival is not in every city. It's not in every state. It's not in every country. So we give thanks for the possibilities that are there, the immense possibilities of meeting one and two, realizing, as the statement says, all of we are one. And we realize that more and more now than ever before, because we're faced with just so much suffering that we long for a day when we can ease off the suffering. Sometimes the music helps, sometimes the food helps, sometimes associations help, and sometimes travel helps. Where to go, what to do when we get there, how to act when we get there. Again, we're going to continue this in the future, and we say to UTM Radio, thank you for allowing this to happen, and we do hope to see you all down at the 33rd Annual Caribbean Festival. That's Sunday, August the 18th, 2019, from 12 noon to 8 p.m.
Yes.
Straight up at the Great Plaza at Penn's Landing, Columbus Boulevard at Chestnut Street, Philadelphia, PA, in the USA, because this is global. This is going out around the world, you know. And we want to thank all those committee members who make it happen. Yeah, we mentioned Barbara Wilson, but we also want to mention, as you say, Cecilia, Yvonne,
Jackie,
yeah,
Sandra,
Miss Pam,
Miss Pam, Miss Pam.
and while we're doing that,
Yvonne.
let's remember those who are not with us, because I do miss my good brother Ashok the poet.
Oh yes, yes.
I really miss Sister Giselle from Haiti. You know, I've
Sister
enjoyed,
Joan Garden.
and I continue to enjoy my association with this committee on an international, global basis. And I thank you for coming in and adding some clarity, as was not history, regarding this production. Once again, thank you. We're going to get back to the music. And in the meantime, between time, remember, Jimi Hendrix said this is a groovy time. Groove on, star.
So they be trading for rice and peas.
yes, you fell. Building more bombs and guns, yet the babies are dying from hunger. We are the victims of your oppression. Blood of the innocent that you slaughtered is upon your hands. You gave the guns, you set the fight, and you sit aside and watch the slaughter. Babylon, you do. Doom, doom, doom. Babylon, you fail. Yes, you fell. Babylon, you do. Your writings up on the wall now. Babylon, you fail. Yes, you fell. Fire burn down low. Babylon, you do. Doom, doom, doom. Babylon, you fail. Yes, you fell. Babylon, you do. The writings up on the wall now. Oh, Babylon, you fail. Yes, you fell. Baby, murder, breast, and dry. And every day, another life, yeah. Woman, yes. Woman, life taken. Woman, nations you destroyed. Woman, life you've taken. Doom, doom, doom. Whoa, whoa, doom, doom, doom. So Babylon, you doom, doom, doom. Oh, oh, man, you doom, doom, doom. So oppressor, man, you doom, doom, doom. Oh, doom, doom, doom. It's the wicked man, you doom, doom, doom. See them running from the wickedness. Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord. See them running from the filthiness. Oh, oh. Number down your days, Mr. Global Sheriff. Police and thieves in the street, fighting the nation with their guns and ammunition. Police and thieves in the street, oh yes, scaring the nation with their guns and ammunition. From Genesis to Revelations, yeah, of the next generation will be, hear me, all the crimes committed day by day. No one tried to stop it in any way. with their guns and ammunition. Police and thieves in the street. Oh yeah, scaring the nation with their guns and ammunition.
get down. Till him boom, till him boom.
I made Destinations Deadline 2. No bad reviews. The only fool with a negative view was you know who. It's the way I word it. 8 out of 10 cats said they preferred it. So there's no time to sit down and screw. A classical, musical, like Xanadu. What can I do? Industry attitude makes me wanna give in. They're feeding the kids poison like Michael Bivins. Hype videos null and void without Williams. I like living, but British rap don't pay. I've been rapping since the days of Up Pompeii. And in retrospect, I should have been a garage DJ to collect my check. Cause it just seems so effortless. Came back in 99, it's like I never left the mic behind. Because we still get no respect. How many Brits have been played by Funkmaster Flex? How many Brits have been played by Sway and Tech? Where's my bayonet? It seems Brits been paying debts and dues for the longest stretch yet. We still get used in the field, Check the moves,
Get down,
the
get
rap
down.
tunes. Ill attitude.
Arcadian groove, I got you in the mood with my old time pattern, my new time style. Most of them is wicked, most of them wild. I waited bomb or not, make them want come disrespect. This here architect with my higher stake, ghetto fight, intellect. In every aspect, that work is that we get down to the nitty gritty of vibe, that conjure flow. Cause everybody know, don't. Nobody love me when their pockets is broke, but everybody love me when their pockets are buff. From young, my father told me, don't you grow to be no crop. Guess what? I did exactly the opposite. Nobody tell me itch when I croon for my supper. Juggle my thing, properly. I got a beat. Which part the totty beats? Bouncing the hip to the roots vibe. Disco mix. As she dip, I feel my cord root twitch, and I know that it's about that time that I got to get my thing on. Come on, warrior. Get down, get down. Till him boom, till him boom. UK warrior. Get down, get down. Till him boom, till him boom, till him boom.
AM radio. The sounds of Marcia Griffiths in the background. She said, ready for the good life. Listen keenly, y'all.
Telling you right now, oh, another. Yes, why can't we help each other? It is a fact we want better in life, and that doesn't say to hurt your brother. I can't be happy, I can't be free. Everything I try, there's always someone wanna hurt me. I'm telling you right now. Look how long they brought us down here, have us in bondage right through these years, fussing and fighting among ourselves. Nothing to achieve this way is worse than hell. I say, get up and fight for your rights, my brothers. Get up and fight for your rights, my sisters. Took us away from civilization.
Excuse me. Could you possibly rewind
And Lego this year one, yeah.
and come again, my selector? Satellite link.
Look how long they brought us down here, have us in bondage right through these years, fussing and fighting among ourselves. Nothing to achieve this way is worse than hell. I say, get up and fight for your rights, my brothers. Get up and fight for your rights, my sisters. Took us away from civilization.
Sister Marcia Griffiths.
Brought us to slaving this big plantation.
In the mix.
Fussing and fighting among ourselves.
Tell me why.
Nothing to achieve this way is worse than hell. I say, get up and fight for your rights, my brothers. Get up and fight for your rights, my sisters.
Do it.
Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up.
Hey. Don't give it up. No, no. Truth and rights every day and every night. Equality and justice stand for one and all. Babylon bound to fall. The sounds of Marcia Griffiths right here at UTM Radio. It's the International Interplanetary Space Station show with your host, Timmy Tanzania. We'd like to feature Maxi Priest, Out to the One, Sister Free. Yes, do it, stop.
Waking up to a dry land. A glass in their hand. To the bone I see the hole. A faithful one and all. Watch the leaf fall from the sky. Still the sources are running dry. Tell me, how can we ease the pain that the people going under? Tell me, how can we ease the pain? Tell me, who's gonna take the blame? How can we ease the pain that the people going under?
That the people going
Tell
under.
me, how can we
ease the pain?
Tell me, who's gonna take the blame? Come on. I watch the children.
Ferris Hammond, you know?
No tears in their eyes. Hey, then I ask the reason why. Life seems to be on the slide. Hey, you let you want no feeling.
How can we ease the pain?
That the people going under. Tell me, how can we ease the pain? Tell me, who's gonna take the blame? Hey.
Local, national, international, global. Once again, Maxi Priest in the mix. 3 to 6, UTM Radio, bubbling. State of the art technology, state of the art production, state of the artist, Timmy Tanzania in the mix.
On my own again.
Sometimes I wake up in the night with no one beside me. I'll turn the radio on just for company. Sometimes I wake up in the night, I found I've been crying, crying. Oh Lord, my sleep again. Goodbye to love again. Until next time again. I'll just keep going on, going on, going on. Goodbye to love again. Until next time again. I'll just keep going on as I've done before. Be on my own again. Be all alone again. Until love comes to stay and close the door. Sometimes I wake up in the night with no one beside me. I turn the radio on just for company. Sometimes I wake up in the night, I found I've been crying, crying. Oh Lord, my sleep again. Goodbye to loving. Until next time again. I'll just keep going on, going on, going on. Until next time again, and time again, time again.
Right about now, we'd like to take a trip to South Africa and remember the artist Lucky Dube. He's no longer with us, but I give thanks that he did walk the planet. Check out the sounds. In town and out town, uptown and downtown. From over there to over here, from South Africa to America.
Ministers of religion have visited me many times to talk about it. They say to me, I gotta leave her, I gotta leave her. It's a bad habit for a man, but when I try to leave her, my friends keep telling me I'm a fool amongst fools. I
Yeah, you're in the middle. You're under the middle. You're in the middle of an African reggae extravaganza. Exclusive. We remember Lucky Dube, y'all. Say it with me. Lucky Dube from South Africa. May you rest in peace. May you rest in paradise. This one's called Going Back to My Roots. Dig it. Yeah, we give thanks. We really appreciate you listening, you tuning in. The satellite link is right here at utmradio.com. 24/7, 365 days a year. Well, almost. Anyway, you got to take a holiday. But I say thank you to UTM Radio for allowing this program today to just let off the way it did. And it meant a lot to really have an interview with the Caribbean Festival members because of the information and the experience that they have personally. And even me, because I'm a member of the committee, and I give thanks that the things that I've learned I could share with you, the listeners. We're looking forward to continuing the same vein next week. But in the meantime, between time, like Jimi Hendrix said, this is a groovy time. We're going to give you one more track, coming out of the hills of Africa, coming out of the hills of Jamaica, in a combination style. This one's bound to make you smile. Tyrus Riley and Alpha Blondie. Dig the vibe.
Take away these shackles off of me. Take away these chains. I refuse to live in captivity.
Free, free, free. Stand free.
Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must, yeah.
Oh, can't you see?
Can't you see
that I got to be free now?
Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must, boy.
Freak like my friend the wind. Stand free.
Free like the air that we breathe. Priceless, no fee.
Stop your speech of hypocrisy. Let my people be.
Just like the days of King Moses and Pharaoh, set my people free.
Free, I was born free.
Freedom,
you can't stop me.
Free like the beautiful sea. Free, we want to be.
Nothing will change my mind.
No, no.
Talking won't change my mind.
Oh no.
Money won't change my mind.
Nothing will ever.
Tricky, tricky.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Free, live free.
Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must, yeah.
Africa must be free.
Free from poverty.
That's right.
Nigeria got to be free.
Right now.
Ghana got to be free, I say.
Jamaica got to be free. Oh.
Liberia got to be free.
Free from misery.
You know.
Africa's got to be free. Yeah.
Free from poverty.
Gambia got to be free.
Ethiopia got to be free.
Senegal got to be free.
Senegal, love me. Take away these shackles off of me. Take away these chains.
My suffering,
I refuse to live in captivity. Gone are the days. 400 years couldn't hold me down. Standing firm on a solid ground. I'm gonna make my people proud. Freedom without a doubt. Namibia, Kenya, Ghana, Gambia, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Burkina Faso, Africa.
Zimbabwe got to be free.
Free from poverty.
Freedom,
Namibia got to be free.
Free from misery.
right now.
Congo got to be free.
Free from poverty.
Freedom,
Kenya got to be free.
that's right.
Free from misery.
Yeah.
I'm saying free, live free.
Free, free, free. Oh, start free.
Free,
Yeah.
set my people free.
Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must. Whoa, 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 yeah.
Set my people free.
Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must. Freedom is a must, yeah. Lion G, Light Creation, Zulu Nation, Revelation, Destroy all nations, militant, violence and crusade, nothing stays the same, a renegade.
The Renegades of Funk, Africa Bombata, and the Soul Sonic Force. Well, good evening and welcome to another GBE, a Gary Bird experience, as the funky forces of the universe come together for us to bring another set of Big Apple jams your way. Well, in a few minutes, my engineer, Jonathan E. at Master Control, and I are going to go looking for something perfect. That's right, the perfect beat for you, especially if you are up at Planet Rock, the Bronx, where the Zulu Nation is in dance formation tonight. Now, speaking of dance, have you heard about the WLIB Break Dance Contest? That's right, you have a chance to win a trip to the mother country, the place that sent Africa Bombata into a galaxy far, far away. Who knows, you could be on your way into the land of the pyramids. Checking it all out.
With the glow of twilight still lingering, and a dash of nearsightedness, and some good old human imagination, and some well-intentioned people will even claim it's shooting off sparks. It's as big as a basketball. It has landing lights, and so on. Hard to believe? Well, the most frequently reported UFOs on record are the planets Venus and Jupiter. IFOs want you to know a little about the autokinetic illusion and the night sky. July 24, 1948. An Eastern Airlines flight is en route from Houston to Atlanta, when suddenly the flight crew, all intelligent trained observers, reported the
I am
controls the present controls the past. Who controls the past controls the future. Funk.
So this is how Bam sends them to the street, hip-hopping, looking for the perfect beat. Rapping, scratching, breaking, shaking, the success of hip-hop is in the making. On TV and on radio, you hear and see it wherever you go. Graffiti began on the walls, and now it's sold in stores and malls. From Uptown to Fifth Avenue, the journey took a heck of a crew. From a neighborhood and a street scene all around.